We pushed everything on download manager. In the download manager, we have downloaded the all the packages here. Then all the packages I have moved to the in the E drive. I created the separate drive for the patching E drive. So in the E drive, we have the patches. We have the patches in the E drive. So I moved to the patches folder here. Here you can see the all the patches are downloaded in the bulk. In the bulk, all the patches are moved to the here, right? So this is what we have done in the yesterday, right? So calculation of the XML file. The XML file is the very important here. So for the to perform the upgrades, so using the sum tool, spam and send you don't require, just patch file is required. The patch file in the naming convention of the .sar SAP archive. The patches are in the form of the .sar here. So those patches are you required here. Those patches you have to download and you have to keep it ready. But for the sum tool, when you are doing the sum tool, you need the sum tool. Sum tool also you have to download it, same as like SWPM. Then you have to start the things here. All right. So that is what we have done the yesterday. The pre-work we have done it here. Now, so what we have to do now? Then what is our next action item here, right? So here to perform all these activities here, to perform the activities here. So now start the sum tool here. Now sum starting here. Now we need to start the sum tool here. Sum starting process here. Sum starting procedure. It's a very important step. Sum starting procedure for the upgrade. So what steps we have to perform it here? So login with SID ADM. Then go to the CMD mode, command prompt mode. The first of all, go to the under the CD USR SAP SID. Then extract the sum file, some SAR file you need to extract here. Then then we need to start the sum tool. Sum tool, you have to start it here. So how to start the sum tool, how to log in. So those things we will see it now here. Okay. So log in with SID ADM. So which means, so we need to log in with ECD ADM here, right? ECD ADM, we have to log in here. Here I logged in with the ECD ADM user. SID ADM, we have to log in here. Then go to the E drive, SAP softwares, patches, where you download the patches here. Just copy the sum folder. Then you need to place into the under USR SAP SID. Under the SID, you need to keep the file here. Then you need to extract the file here using the command prompt mode. SAP car, what is the command to extract it? SAP car -extract it, right? Sum dot SAR, so that the sum tool is getting extracted. So we need to extract the sum tool here.
Can we create another mount point like user SAP sum and put this into, because after extraction it get like 3-4 GB page and it is using user SAP SID page. Right.
We can create it. That is also possible. We can do that one. How you want to proceed, we can create it here. Means separate drive or separate mount point in the Linux level. That's how we want to go. That's we can go with that one. That's not a problem. We can proceed with that one. So SAP software here, it is getting extracted. You can see here, it is getting extracted here. It's a very big file. That's why they will keep in the form of file and in the SAR file.
Sir, from where did you downloaded the some file means in SAR format?
In the sum
Actually, I mean to say from where you downloaded the thing.
service marketplace. Yesterday we have calculated the patches, right? From there,
Right.
you got all the patches and everything you have downloaded from the service marketplace.
Yeah, we have pushed to the download basket.
Right, we have pushed it to the download basket. From there, we can download all at a time. So that I have downloaded all the files at a time here.
Okay, so all that file are we are extracting.
Not all the files, only some file you have to extract it. Not all the files extraction is not required. Only some tool file extraction is required here.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, because some tool will take care of all that one, but who will extract the sum tool? We have to unextract it, right? Humans, we have to extract it. That's why we need to extract only sum tool. Then some tool will do the extract of the all the patches. So you don't need to hundreds of patches. You don't need to uncar it here. Same as like in spam and send, we have to manually uncar it here. Here, you no need to do that one here. Some tool will take care of that one. See here, how many files it is extracted here, right? It is extracted. Some tool extracted all the files here. Then what next here? How to start the sum tool here then? Then go to the administrator command prompt mode here. Administrator command prompt mode, which the command prompt mode you need to run as administrator here, right? So then go to the C drive, so where you have the USR, SCP, SID, sum is available here. Okay, USR, SID, some folder is created. When you extract the sum tool, it creates the one folder here that is called the sum folder here. Then go to the above. So here in this location, you need to start the sum file here. You can see sum start.bat file. If you double click it, it won't start it. Here, what you have to do, you have to go to the command prompt mode. You need to execute the one command here. You need to execute the command here. Either the Windows or Linux, you have to do the same procedure here, right? So sum start space config host agent, right? Config host agent space SID. So this is the command you have to give to start the sum tool here. Normally in the SWPM, what we will do, double click on the SAP industry, it will start it here. So it's not like that here. Here you need to extract the sum tool, then it will create the above folder. Just go to the command prompt mode, administrator command prompt mode here, then execute go to the sum start space config host agent space SID, click on OK button. Then it will start the sum tool. So it will ask us to open the URL in the browser mode here. It will ask us to open the URL here. So the config host agent which you are given, right? So why we have given this arguments here? This is called, we will call it as the arguments. We will call it as the arguments here. Why you have given the config host agent? This is the host agent. Some tool will not directly talk to your SID. Through config host agent, it will talk to your SAP system here. So that is the reason we have to give the space config host agent space SID. We have to give it here. Then some tool will be config tool will be, so the host agent will be restarted. then it will ask us to open the URL in the browser here, right? This URL, some URL, we have to open it here. We have to open this URL here. Normally in SAP NST, it will open the link here, but here we have to open the URL here in the browser level here. Open the browser, minimize all these things, just open the browser. Right, just paste the URL which generated by the sum tool here. Then go to the advanced, go to the unsafe mode. It is asking the user ID and password. Here you need to enter the SID ADM, not your own user ID, SID ADM, and the passwords of the SID ADM, you need to enter it here. Then it will take you through the sum screen here. So it is starting mode. It will take you through the sum screen now. So it is starting now. Sum tool. This is the way you need to start the sum tool here. You need to start the sum tool using sum start space config host agent space SID. This is the command you have to execute in command prompt mode, CMD mode. You have to execute it here. So that sum tool will start it. It will ask us to open the URL in the browser. Then open the URL in the browser. Then enter the SID ADM and password. You can enter it here. Then see just some upgrade, we can start it from here. So to start the sum tool, we need to follow the all this procedure. Login with SID ADM, extract the sum tool. Then in the same SID ADM, we need to execute the sum start. This is the command you have to execute it here. So otherwise, sum won't start it here. Then you can open the URL and you can start it here. Then you can see here the sum screen is opened here. This is the sum screen. Software Upgrade Manager 2.0 SP17 is the latest one, right? You can remember you can take a note down of the patch level version also. Then ECD is the SID here. This is the sum screen here. This is the port number here. This is the port number. So for SWPM, we have, what is the port number for the SWPM? 4237.
37.
For some
4237.
1128 and 1129.
yeah, these are the port numbers for the, so here these port numbers are very standard port numbers. It's a very, very important port numbers here, right? You need to use this stack configuration files and everything here, right? Stack file. So you need to use these port numbers, otherwise it won't connect it here. The version of the sum tool, this is the version of the sum tool here. Now welcome to the sum upgrade manager here. Now it is asking the, please provide the stack file. That is the first thing here. When you are entering to the home, you need key to open the door, right? So same as like here, stack file is the key file here. So without this key, how can we enter? Without this key, how can we log in here? Even there is no next button also, right? So that's the reason we have to go to the SAP softwares, then patches here. In the patches, we have the SAP stack.xml file, which we generated yesterday here, right? So just select that XML file, click on the OK button, then it will read that XML file. It will go to the next step here. Here it is asking the, do you want to go with the migration? So you are running with the SQL Server database, you want to go for the migration, then you can select with the migration option. We can also at the same time, we can also do the migration to the HANA database also from SQL Server to HANA. So we are not doing the migration now. We are just doing the SAP upgrade here. So no migration, click on the OK button here. Here we have the scenario strategy here. Scenario strategy here. So here we have the SAP side, we have the 3 types of scenarios here. One is the single system standard downtime optimized. Single standard downtime optimized here. Single means single system means there is here SAP will introduce the shadow concept here for SAP upgrades. For HANA upgrades, we have the downtime. For SAP upgrades, So SAP will introduce the shadow concept here. So what is meant by shadow concept here? So this is your host. This is your Windows host here. Here you have the SAP ECD is running on top of the database here. This is the database here, right? This is the DB. This is the SAP host ECD here, right? ECD system here. This is the ECD or SAP system here. So here in the database level, we have the repository, right? Definitely there is a repository, and the database level we have the application tables here. That is both will be available in the database level. Application tables and repository. So source original repository, original. Okay. So here, this is the navigation. Here it is running to the repository. It is running. One fine day, it is running here. So one fine day, your manager or your customer asked to update your SAP systems here using the sum tool. So that here you are using the sum tool here. The tool which you are using is called the sum tool here. Sum upgrade manager tool here. Sum tool. This is the sum tool you are using here, right? Sum tool you are using this tool, sum tool here. So the sum tool, what we will do here? So it will sum tool view when you have extracted the sum tool, then sum tool it won't directly connect to the your SAP system here through host agent. Through host agent, it will connect to the host agent is the small service actually. It will connect to the host agent. Why? Because that's the reason you are registering the sum into the sum start dot batch space config host agent, then SID you are giving here, so that the sum tool will directly hit the SID. It will register here. So sum tool it won't directly talk to the your SAP system here. Through host agent, it will talk to the SAP system here. So you started the sum tool connectivity and everything. You provided the passwords and everything is done. Now scenario strategy. So what is mean by scenario strategy here, right? So here you have the three types of scenarios here. You can see here three types of scenarios here. Single. So longer downtime, no shadow instance will be used. Standard. So standard downtime, shadow will be used. Shadow will be used. So what is mean by shadow system here? The shadow system is copy of the your virtual your SAP system. Copy of the virtual SAP system here. So virtual SAP system here. So that what exactly happens during the entire sum procedure high level, sum tool will connect to the your shadow system, will copy of all the data to here. The same system, same set of system here, it will be builded here. Same ECD, same data, same structure, same. That is called the shadow. Shadow means copy of you, copy of the original. So Ravi shadow means copy of the same Ravi, right? Same as like here, shadow system means shadow SAP system means copy of the SAP shadow system here. So that here it will, you can connect to the here, right? You connect it to the here, that's fine, right? You connect it to the sum system, sum screen, SAP system, you connected here. So that you connected here. So that you connected here, then ECD to here you connected here. So then ECD2 you connected here, data will be copied here. So sum tool, what we will do here, if you select you need shadow system, something like that, you need the shadow standard or downtime optimized. If you select both, in this both the scenarios, sum will create the shadow instance. Shadow system will create it here. So shadow system will be created. The first shadow will be upgraded. If you directly sum will upgrade your main system, so there is a longer downtime. Downtime is longer downtime means SAP will be stopped. So maximum longer downtime. Downtime means SAP will be stopped in the longer hours, right? So that is the reason we have the longer downtime here. So if you stop SAP here, if you stop SAP on, if you use the shadow concept here, sum tool itself will build the new SAP system, shadow SAP system, will copy the data. First sum tool will upgrade your main system. Until then, your SAP system is up and running. You can access, you can use the transactions and everything here. You can access it here. Sum tool keep on updating your shadow secondary shadow system. Then it will do all the activities in the sum tool. In one of the phase, copy the data from sum to main system. So that time your main system will be stopped, only one phase here. So that phase, that is fine. Instead of you are doing everything in the main system, if you use the shadow system, shadow will be updated fast. If the shadow is deleted, shadow is wrong also, we are fine, right? Why? Because we are not touching the main system here. So shadow you are updating here. Then you can verify it, everything is okay. Then you can proceed with the downtime activity of the ECD system. That is what the shadow concept they have introduced here. To avoid the major downtime on the main system, SAP introduced the shadow concept, like, so you can use the shadow system, update it everything, then later you can import the data to your main system here. That is the shadow concept here, right? The detailed discussion you will get to know when you are discussing here. Here, single means there is no shadow system here. Standard means shadow will be created with minimum resources. Downtime optimized means downtime will be reduced, but here more resources will be used here. So let's go with the standard configuration here, right? So a shadow will be created the minimum resources here. Then click on the OK button. Then here we will get the roadmap steps here. Some roadmap steps here. These are the 6 roadmap steps in the sum tool: extraction, configuration, checks, pre-processing, execution, and post-processing. So now we are in the extraction phase here. These are the some steps actually. Each and every step, some will ask the, when you are going from extraction to configuration, some will ask the, please provide the, some, please click on the next button. So within the configuration, it will go for the all the steps, but when it is going from extraction to configuration, that time you have to click the next button. Remaining all steps, some will take care of that one, some will take care of the remaining all the steps here, right? I'm entering the passwords here. Right? So now see here, now in the first phase, this is the some roadmaps that we will call it as the some steps. These are the some steps here. In the some steps, if you follow all these steps till extraction to post processing, your upgrade is successfully completed. That is the main thing here. So we are in the first phase. It is scanning the download directory, which means whatever the patches you have downloaded, all the patches are scanning here. All the patches are scanning here. Here you can observe it in the task list and the log file. You can observe it here. What are the log files it is scanned here? So what are the log files are it is getting scanned? So all the information you can see it here. All the information here. So the log files will be written into the here. See here, it is writing here. So here one step is completed here. Here it is checking the DB free space here. Checking the DB free space here to create the shadow system here. So it is checking the free space here. So each and every step internally, it will go automatically. But when the extraction is completed, when it is going to the configuration step, that will ask you the user confirmation. Extraction has been completed. Do you want to proceed with the configuration? Then you need to go with the configuration tab. That's what you have to do it in the each and every step here. So these are the some roadmap steps here. Now we are in the extraction step, extraction phase. So in the first step is called the some steps. We have the first step is called the in the sum. In the sum, we have the first step is called the extraction. Then configuration. The next step is called the configuration. The third step is called the checks. The fourth one is called the pre-processing. Then fifth step is called the execution. Sixth step is called the post-processing. These questions they may ask you in the during the interview point of time or so during the discussion, because these steps are the very crucial steps here. Extraction, configuration, checks, pre-processing, and execution here. So extraction. What is meant by extraction here? What exactly happens in the extraction phase here? In the extraction phase, all your softwares extracted, all your patches will be scanned, XML file will be validated, your XML file will be patches will be scanned, it will be extracted into the EPS indirectory. So there is a EPS indirectory here, EPS indirectory USR SAP trans EPS indirectory. all the patches will be moved to this location here. All the patches will be moved to this location here. So that is the reason. So it is scanning. You can see here, it is copying the kernel here. So see here, it is creating the shadow. So while creating the shadow also, it's creating the copying the kernel from sys.exe directory to some above exe directory here. For the creation of the shadow system and everything, it is building the kernel here. It is building the kernel here, right? But because you decided you need a shadow system standard, right? So it will start preparation activities and everything in this location here. That is what it is doing here. This is about the sum. So procedure, sum execution, one by one, we have to complete it here. So yeah. Here you can observe it here, what's happening in the sum tool here. So just if you go to click on the click button, then you will see the log files here, what's happening, what files are copying, and all the files you can observe it here. So checking the log files are very important here. Otherwise, so something goes wrong. We have to check the logs and everything, right? Checking the log files are very important here. So succeed. So it's completed. That phase is completed. Then next phase it is doing here. Scanning. Next phase it is performing here. So next phase it is performing here. So like that. So 1 to 100% it should be completed. 1 to 100% that will be that should be completed here in the sum screen. 1 to 100% that should be completed here. Sum screen here. So here now it is the tool import phase here. So it is performing all the activities speedily. It is performing here. You can observe it what it is doing in each and every phase here. So what process initiated, what exactly it's writing the log file here, above log file here. So all the information you can see it from here, right? So that is the main thing here. You can observe it here in the sum procedure here. So in the extraction phase, what exactly happens? All the XML file will be XML file validation. Then passwords, it is asked us. Then XML file validation, passwords, scanning the patches, and extracting the softwares, it will extract it. You don't need to do that one. Someone asked, right, whether do you need to extract it. So extracting the patches here, automatically some tool will take care of the extracting the patches. So kernel copy to shadow, kernel copy to some tool, it will copy to the some tool. Then this kind of work it will be performed by the, so here it will be performed here. So yes, they will ask you what exactly happens in the extraction phase. You no need to explain hundreds of things here. Just the main things you have to explain it here. 2 or 3 things you need to explain it here. These are the main things you have to explain during the sum extraction. Then how to start the sum tool. You need to start the sum tool using the SAD ADM in the administrator command prompt mode. Execute the sum. What is the command to start the sum tool? That command you have to explain it here. So will the sum directly will connect to the SAD system? No. With the so host agent, it will connect to the system. Yes, someone is saying something. We have new people in the class. Chabi Tech. Yeah.
It's me, Arun sir.
Hello,
Arun.
hello. Hi, sir. Hi, sir. Welcome to this class.
I got some time, so I joined.
Yeah. So see, we are discussing about the some upgrade procedure, sir. We are in the starting procedure. In the sum tool, how to start the sum tool, how to download the patches, how to calculate the XML file, how it is important XML file for to the sum. So sum tool. So those things we discussed yesterday. Today also, so we started the sum tool starting procedure, and also we have starting the sum tool, opening the sum tool, the port numbers. It's very important. Why? Because interview point of time, they may ask you hundreds of questions here. So will the sum tool will directly connect to the SAP system? No, sum tool will not directly talk to the SAP system here. Sum tool it will connect to the so through host agent it will connect to the SAP system here. So if any issues, we need to check the host agent logs here, not the different logs here. So sum tool is not connecting to the SAP screen means SAP system means in the mediator we need to check it out here. In the mediator we have to check it out. That is called the host agent. We have to check here host agent. That is the main important thing here. See here in the sum screen we have the roadmap step execution extraction is completed here, right? The extraction is completed here. See here, extraction is successfully completed. You can continue with the step configuration here. Then just click on the continue. Then it went to the configuration step here. Then so keep database on for archiving on. So the database will be generate the archive log file, transaction log files will be generated here. So what is mean by transaction log files means you will come to know more here, right? Here, this is the very critical step here in the sum tool here, right? So configuration of the parameters here, parallel processing parameters here, uptime, how many above process, downtime, how many above process, SQL process, so SQL downtime process, R3 trans process, R3 load process. What is this, all this process here? What is this about? So to carry out your upgrade work, to carry out your building construction work, these are the labors, these are the process will be used here. So suppose in 2 months, 8 people in the 2 months, they have built the one house. Means in 8 people, 8 process. So 8 process, they have upgraded your SAP system in 2 months. Suppose if you take 16 people, then 1 month they will complete it, right? Mathematics probability. Same as like here also, the parallel processing here. So here we need to adjust the parallel processing here. By default, when you select the standard, when you take the standard by default, it will give the standard resources here, So system will calculate it automatically. Why? Because depends upon your CPU cores, your CPU cores here. Here depends upon your CPU cores. We have the 8 CPUs here. So that's why it depends upon the CPU cores here. So all these things will be calculated here. I will explain clearly when we are in the other pages. I will clearly explain here. So we can take it default. And do you want to run the SGen in the sum execution? So it's not recommended to run the sum during the upgrade phase. We can run it later here. So that's why I chosen the default process, default parameters. Just I'm going with the next step here. So that it will take it here. The next step, it is asking the SPDD, SPAU transports here. If you have any SPDD, SPAU transports, maybe whether you are developer by the developers, then just the transports will be populated here. We can give the transport request number. Otherwise, just click on the empty. Click on the next button. So when this SPDD, SPA will come means, so once you've done the upgrade in the first system development, you will get the SPDD, SPAU here. In the pre-processing and execution phase, you will get those steps here. So that time, so I will explain clearly. So include transport request. Now we don't have any transport request here. Just click on the next button. Here maximum you need to check clicking the next button, you need to proceed further. Click the next button, you need to proceed further. That activities you have to perform it here. So now in the configuration phase, so we may get some errors here in the configuration step here. In the configuration steps here, we need to import the nodes here. In the extraction phase, all the patches, softwares, it will scan it, it will extract it, it will evaluate it, then it will go to the configuration phase. In the configuration step, it will ask us to configure the uptime, how many parameters, downtime, how many parameters. So SPDD, SPAU, transport request, all these things it asked. And also here, the main important thing is here, implement the node, implement the missing nodes in the, implement the missing nodes, implement the missing nodes in SAP system, that it will detect it here. If you see here, go to the missing nodes here, what nodes we have to implement. See here, hundreds of nodes are there here. Not hundreds of nodes, only few nodes are there. All these nodes we have to implement in our systems. We have to implement in our systems. Then only we can proceed further. Otherwise, if you click on the next button, we cannot proceed further. That is the main thing here. Now we have a blocker. Blocker means now we have the hard stoppage here to perform this node implementation in our system. So then we have to implement it. All these nodes we have to implement in our systems here. So now we have to implement it. Otherwise, some tool it won't go for. Why? Because these are the nodes is as part of the patch upgrade. These nodes are the some of the pre-nodes, some missing nodes for these patches. So that these patches, these nodes we have to implement in our systems as per the versions here. So without this one, we cannot continue here. So now what we have to do, we need to implement all the nodes here. I think you guys knows how to implement the nodes, right? So we have, I think the nodes already there in our SAP systems here. So not here, I think some nodes already there here. What I can do here, I will place the
Here, sir, below there,
I will,
above patches.
yeah. So what I will do here, I will notes, yes, notes, something like that. I will create the one folder in the E drive. Okay, don't use the C drive. C drive already, it's already filled. So requesting everyone, whoever storing some data in the C drive or users folders, just delete it. You can use the E drive. E drive having the sufficient space here. You can use the E drive to store the space here. Okay, so otherwise we are in the bad situation. System will go down. If the C drive is full 100%, system will go down. Then you cannot practice it here. Even I cannot recover it as well here. That is the dangerous status here. So please, so do that one. So if anyone do that one. Okay. So here, what I will do here, I have notes here. I have already downloaded the notes here. Let me copy to the here, all the notes here. What I will do here, this way I will get more things here. Right. So this way I will come to know where is this folder's location here. See here, downloads and SAP notes here. Downloads and SAP notes. Copy, and here can paste like yes notes. Okay, so it's your turn now to implement all these nodes. Now it's your turn. You have to implement, divide it all together. So multiple persons, you can divide it here. So each 3, 4, something like that. You can divide it all these nodes here. Then you can implement it. So if one person can implement, that is also fine, but only that person will get the experience on the implementation of the nodes here. So now what you have to do, you need to implement it. Then only we can continue further.